Oh, by the way, why is she telling his business? See, that's where I want the ladies to listen.
So this situation just got even messier. A woman has now stepped forward, claiming she's not the other woman behind the rumored split between Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. With new accusations and reactions spreading online, fans are trying to figure out what really happened.
I'm sick and tired of what's going on in this world. I'm not saying whatever she felt was wrong. I don't know what happened in their relationship. Don't want to know. Ain't none of my damn business. Ain't none of y'all's either.
She's pushing back against the rumors and making it clear that she's not the person fans should be blaming. Music. I'm about to show the clip, but honestly, this whole situation made me look at Klay Thompson a little differently because something just doesn't seem to add up. To make things even more confusing, Klay recently followed Drake again, and fans immediately started connecting the dots. Then he was spotted on a boat acting awkward and overly unbothered, almost like he was trying too hard to prove everything was fine, but people online are definitely not buying it.
Made it so. This Saturday night. Why?
And did.
Why? How come you couldn't just break up and go on your merry way?
And here's the wild part. This man claimed he didn't have time to clear his friend's name when the drama started getting messy, yet somehow he found the time to call out a young fan for making harmless edits online. He accused the fan of pushing narratives about him being part of the Rainbow Coalition, and many people felt that energy was completely misplaced. He stayed silent while cheating rumors spread and didn't defend his friend when support was needed most. But now suddenly he's vocal over fan edits and online speculation. That's exactly why so many people are reacting the way they are right now.
How come you couldn't just say, we had our time together, but I'm back being single again. Klay Thompson and I are no longer together.
People are definitely side-eyeing the situation because it doesn't match the calm, unbothered image he's trying to present. And speaking of that cool and unaffected vibe, this is the same Klay Thompson people remember stepping into someone else's situation like Captain Corny, saying, "Now listen, I know there are a bunch of broke men out there idolizing Klay. He's got millions of dollars." Music. But that's exactly the point many people think is being missed. Just because someone has money doesn't mean they move differently in relationships. In fact, once fame and money start piling up, it often becomes less about love or stability and more about attention, status, and constant validation. Sure, Klay is respected on the basketball court. He's known for hitting big shots, winning championships, and being one of the most recognizable names in the NBA. But outside of basketball, especially in certain circles around the world, his fame may not carry the same weight people assume it does. Now really think about this situation for a second. Music. Imagine dealing with someone in their late 30s who constantly talks about settling down, making promises about commitment and maturity, but then moves completely differently behind the scenes. That's where a lot of the frustration online is coming from. People keep pointing to the history, the rumors, and the repeated patterns that continue to follow him. And instead of clearing the air or directly addressing the speculation, he suddenly pops up on a boat trying to look relaxed, carefree, and untouched by all the drama. But to many viewers, the energy just feels forced. Rather than genuinely looking unbothered, it comes across like he's putting on a performance to convince everyone that none of this is affecting him. Music.
Why? Is there a wedding that I missed? Is there nuptials that took place that nobody knew about? Did we sit up there before God? Why is
I wish I could play the audio, but it's just music over the clip, and honestly, that might have been intentional. It almost feels like he knew people would be watching closely, and didn't want anything too direct or revealing getting out. Still, the visuals alone are enough to spark reactions, and the whole thing comes across awkward and forced. The vibe just feels off, like, music, he's trying to send a message without actually saying anything, but it's not landing the way he probably expected. You know what this situation really feels like? It's like when your friend starts dating someone you normally wouldn't expect them to be with. And at first you think, music? Okay, maybe he treats her right, so that's what matters. Because realistically, for a lot of women, the biggest thing is how they're treated. Respect, consistency, honesty, and emotional security usually matter more than anything else. People online always love throwing around labels like gold digger whenever money is involved. Music. But the reality is far more complicated than that. A lot of women are not simply chasing money. They're looking for someone dependable, someone who shows respect publicly and privately, and someone whose actions actually match their words. But then everything shifts when that same person who once seemed genuine starts moving shady behind the scenes. Suddenly, the image they carefully built begins to crack. Now people are looking at him differently, because the behavior no longer matches what was being presented to the public. That's why the reactions online have become so intense lately. Money alone doesn't automatically make someone trustworthy, loyal, or emotionally mature. There are, music, plenty of wealthy people in the world, so money by itself isn't enough to keep someone around long term. Eventually, people start paying attention to patterns, actions, and how someone handles pressure when the spotlight is on them.
That's where here's what we doing. Oh, by the way, I'm one of those people that feel even if that's violated, that's between you, your person, your pastor, and God. It ain't none of nobody's business.
It always comes back to how someone actually shows up in a relationship. If a person truly wants to waste your time, there's never a shortage of opportunities to do that. For many women, attention is everywhere, so choosing to stay committed to one person usually comes down to how they're treated, not just what someone owns or how much money they have. Music. That's why you see some men getting frustrated and trying to compete in ways that don't even make sense. They start showing off, doing the absolute most, and still can't understand why things aren't working out the way they expected. Music. The reality is actually pretty simple. If someone is only bringing confusion, inconsistency, and mixed signals into a relationship, there will always be other people capable of doing the exact same thing. Music, and probably with more charm, better communication, and far less stress attached to it. Now bring that back to this current situation. Music. If the goal was never real commitment, then time can easily be wasted anywhere. But when someone like Megan Thee Stallion is involved, people naturally expect a certain level of respect, honesty, and clarity. Instead, what fans feel they're seeing right now comes across as inconsistent and confusing. One moment there's complete silence, and the next there are subtle actions and social media moves that immediately get everyone talking all over again. That's exactly why so many people online continue to question what's really going on behind the scenes.
Why is this propensity existent to be telling everybody your business? Why is that?
Because it's my business.
I want that explained. Because I don't get it.
You never will.
I don't understand it. How is that any of our business?
It's not.
I told y'all.
I told you. That's where the frustration really starts to build. At some point, it stops looking like someone is simply trying to stay private, music, and starts feeling more like they're sending quiet messages without directly addressing anything. Music. Then there's the situation with Drake being followed again, which only adds even more questions to the conversation. To a lot of people watching from the outside, it creates the impression that something deeper, music, might be going on emotionally, even if nobody is openly saying it. Some fans are praising him for staying quiet and avoiding public drama, but others feel the image people once had of him is starting to shift. Instead of looking calm and mature, some now think it feels more like an attempt to regain control of the narrative after things didn't go the way he expected. And honestly, this is where those kinds of moves can start catching up with someone. Actions like this can make it harder to be taken seriously in a real relationship. People always say, there will always be women lined up. And sure, music attention will always exist when money, fame, and status are involved. But attention and genuine interest are two completely different things. And over time, people learn to separate the two. Music. Jokes aside, this applies to everyone. Once someone shows they're only around for temporary fun, and not something meaningful or stable. Music. People naturally adjust how they deal with them. That's simply how relationships and public perception work.
I'm a very happy dude. I'm good. My life is fine. Oh, here's what we doing. Heard from Klay. What if Klay said it was you?
If the energy feels temporary or inconsistent, people usually won't invest deeply into the relationship. And from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like he wants to be treated casually either. It comes across like he wants loyalty, admiration, and respect, but some people feel his actions are not fully matching those expectations. Music. Then you have the Drake situation popping back up again. And that only adds another layer to the conversation that people can't ignore. The refollow itself may not seem like a huge move, but within this context, many viewers feel like it was intentional, almost like he knew it would get people talking. That's why some online are calling it corny music, because it feels calculated instead of natural. Once people begin connecting dots, bringing up old friendships, past interactions, and the circles someone moves in, music, a certain image starts to form. Whether that perception is completely fair or not, once it's out there, it tends to stick. At the very least, some people believe it gives the impression that he's heavily influenced by the environment and people around him. At this point, fans are analyzing every little move. Music, even the smallest actions become magnified, and the overall situation starts looking less like coincidence and more like a repeated pattern. A lot of the frustration people express online comes from expectations not matching reality. Some men grow up believing that once they gain money, fame, or status, everything else will naturally fall into place. Music, including relationships and how people view them. But real relationships rarely work that way. Money can open doors, but it doesn't automatically guarantee respect, loyalty, emotional maturity, music, or a genuine connection. At the same time, social media has created this perception that dating is easier for women than it actually is in real life.
But these women chirping all over the damn place. Chirping all over the damn place.
Social media only shows highlights, not the full reality, and comparing real life to carefully curated posts will always create resentment. That's where a lot of this tension comes from. Music. People see surface-level images online and build entire narratives around them, even though relationships are usually far more complicated behind the scenes. It's not as simple as saying one side has it easier than the other. Bringing it back to Klay Thompson, the real issue isn't whether he'll continue to have access to women, because status and fame make sure of that. The bigger question people are asking is whether he's actually being taken seriously. There's a major difference between attention and respect, and many people are starting to wonder which one he's truly receiving right now. Someone might entertain a situation casually, but that's very different from genuinely investing in someone long-term. Music. That's why this situation with Megan Thee Stallion stands out to so many people. At some point, she clearly saw something worth taking seriously. That doesn't happen randomly. But once repeated rumors, past relationships, and certain patterns start becoming part of the public conversation, perceptions begin to shift. And once people view someone differently, it becomes difficult to change that image again. What also makes this more complicated is how previous situations were handled. People have claimed Klay cheated in past relationships, but most of those women stayed quiet. Music. They didn't publicly drag his name or expose details online. Everything remained low-key except for one situation that became more public. So when Megan entered the relationship, she may have heard rumors, but there wasn't a loud public pattern fully confirmed in front of her. Now, because everything is unfolding publicly, the next person won't be walking in blindly. They'll already have context, opinions, and assumptions in mind before anything even begins.